My name is Kanoe Wheeler, and I have to say again, I'm such a proud graduate of the amazing class of 2012. And I'm really honored to be able to have this opportunity to share just a sliver of my experience at USM. The catalyst for my spiritual journey began at the age of 8 and the sudden death of my father, who was and is the universe to me. I was a daddy's girl and continue to love him madly to this day. And so to lose him at such a young age was life-shattering, and the pain was so intense that the only way I knew how to cope was to push it really, really far down and control it. And I did a really good job until my 20s and 30s when the pain started to surface. And this time I kind of allowed it to. And what I realize now is that I was having some very healthy emotional release, but it wasn't until I came to USM that I began to actually heal the grief. Through my USM curriculum, I learned that at the age of 8, when he died, I created some irrational beliefs or barriers like Ron talked about. Things like my dad abandoned me, God, life's spirit abandoned me, or he wouldn't have taken my father away. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, because if I was, my dad would have fought harder to stay alive. And what I realized was that these misunderstandings of reality were unconsciously governing my life choices and limiting me from fully engaging in all of my life experiences, whether they were painful or joyous. So as Mary talked about with the principles and practices, I learned how to heal, clear, and dissolve all of the irrational beliefs that I was holding. What that looks like for me is surrendering the illusion of control and stepping into a place of vulnerability that I had never engaged in before. I've learned that this is one of the most important tools in my tool chest, and one that really is a sign of strength as opposed to weakness. And I learned how to take 100% responsibility for my life experiences, understanding that the irrational beliefs that I created around my dad's death, that I created my own suffering as a result of them. And so the beauty of that realization is that I have full authority to choose whether to suffer under the weight of my stories or to be free from them. And I've chosen to be free. I always thought that I was living life on a pretty big playing field, and most people would argue that I was. But what I now realize is I was playing life in my nice controlled world. And when I surrendered the illusion of control, my world expanded exponentially. And so did the possibilities of what I could do and how I could contribute. On the goal line, what this means for me is that as a legal administrator, I'm a much more effective leader. I've mastered the skills that I've learned here and know how to push an organization forward, whether it's working with an individual, a team of staff, whether it's the executive board or the board members. I really know how to push them past what they see as their limitations. Also on the goal line, and more importantly for me, on the soul line, this means that I am transitioning out of the legal career and into work that calls to my heart, which is coaching in the death, dying, and bereavement field. And thank you. Sharing the peace that I have come to know with others who are experiencing death, and I'm already doing this, makes me feel absolutely on purpose. I came to USM 2 years ago at a crossroads in my career, understanding that I could marry. I knew I could marry, having a career and doing meaningful work. And when I came to an information night just like this, I realized that USM was going to be able to help me clarify that life's work. But more importantly, what I realized was coming to USM would be an opportunity for me to access a level of inner peace that I knew I could always have, but didn't quite know how to get there. And I'm so happy to share with you that I've achieved both and so much more. My experience here at USM has been life-altering and so rich and profound and challenging. I earned my master's degree as well, but it's been joyous and liberating and so loving. It is by far one of the greatest gifts I've ever given myself. So thank you.